fallout from the NCAA's revenue sharing settlement is really shaking up college football to its core, and it's not just about the money. We're talking non-revenue generating programs getting suspended and or cut. And there's a brand new transfer portal window exclusively for walk-ons, which is kind of cool. So big changes are coming in fast. So let's dive right in. Welcome back to the Nitro College Football Show. I am Burl, and today's episode is absolutely loaded. We're breaking down the NCAA's revenue sharing fallout and what it means for non-revenue generating sports. There's a new walk-on transfer window and what Georgia fans should watch for heading into SEC Media Days. Plus, we take a look at one of the more funny things that has happened in college football with Texas State's surprise jump to the Pac-12. And also, if you haven't caught it yet, our series on the 50 greatest Georgia players of the 2000s is still going strong, so be sure to check that out. All right, let's get to it. So let's start with the big picture here. The NCAA's revenue sharing settlement was meant to bring more fairness and financial support to athletes, especially the revenue generating sports like football and basketball. But there's a big ripple effect, which we knew was coming. We've all known that the non-revenue generating sports were going to be impacted negatively by this settlement. And that's coming to fruition. It's hitting the smaller sports hard, and we have one example that came to light this week with diving, of all things. So at the University of Virginia, the diving program is actually suspended for the upcoming season. And it's also part of a broader divestment strategy. So not sure what's going on at University of Virginia, but seems like they're on some hard times, brother. And then you got NC State. Their roster has effectively been cut down to zero. So no divers. The last diver was cut in March, and the team hasn't replaced him. And these aren't just tweaks, y'all. These are program shutdowns. And why? Well, under this settlement, schools are preparing to shift more money towards revenue sports. And non-revenue sports like diving are going to get squeezed out. So imagine being a student athlete who's literally done everything right. They worked so hard to get into the sport that they are best at. And they've chosen a school that has a program that fits them. And now that program is just gone. You lose your team just because of how the NCAA is reorganizing its finances, or how schools refinancing their future. And so that begs the question, like, if diving's on the chopping block, what's next? Are we going to see gymnastics or tennis? I don't know. But let me know what you think. Should athletic departments work harder to preserve these sports, or is this just how it is? Is this reality? So drop some comments, let us know, or hit us up on socials at NitroCFB. You can catch us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. It's all the same. So here's something that might have flown a bit under the radar with all the changes going on in college football. A brand new one-time transfer portal window just opened, and it's only for walk-ons. It's tied directly to the House NCAA settlement. As part of the deal, there are now new roster limits. Football teams can only carry 105 players. So what does this mean for walk-ons who were already promised a spot? Well, the NCAA came up with a solution. Schools had to submit a list of designated student athletes, basically walk-ons who were eligible to play in the 2024-25 25 season, so last season, and they were recruited with a guaranteed spot in this season. So those players, and only those players, they now can enter the portal and transfer freely, no penalty, from July 7th to August 5th. So it's a very, very short window. So some key things to remember. It doesn't apply to scholarship players. This is walk-ons only. They get special treatment here. And this is a one-time only window. So this is not something that's going to be recurring in the future. There's not going to be future transfer portals for this same time period. But it's designed to help soften the blow to the new roster cap, but also raises a big question about how roster management will work moving forward when schools are forced to cut walk-ons every year. We don't know how that's going to be handled. We've talked about it a lot over the past few weeks. It's a big concern of mine. I would hate to see players get the shaft if they have put in the work and did everything they could and still get cut a day before the first game. I just think that's complete crap, and that shouldn't be the case. If you're going to turn college football into NFL light, you got to give these players a chance to move on to somewhere else if they get cut, and they need to be able to do that before the school year starts, because like it or not, they're still in school, and that the school part really matters more for these walk-ons than it does the high profile NIL players. So it'll be something to keep paying attention to, and hopefully they come up with a good solution. So let me know your thoughts about how this is going to work and what you think the NCAA should do moving forward. And if you're enjoying this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like this video. We are on the road to 250 subs. We're getting really close, so tell a friend. That's just our next milestone, and we need your help. All right, dog fans. Media Days is right around the corner, actually starting next week. So Georgia announced that for SEC Media Days this year in 2025, they're going to send Gunnar Stockton, quarterback, CJ Allen, linebacker, and Dalen Everett, cornerback. All three are first-timers, and it's a good sign for Georgia. These are some fresh faces. I mean, we've seen Dalen Everett for the past few years. He's fantastic, and CJ Allen burst on the scene 2 years ago, had a decent year last year. But all three, it's their first time getting in front of SEC media. So for Gunnar, it's a big deal for him. He's now the face of Georgia football. He's QB1. It's his team now. With Carson Beck gone, the spotlight is directly onto Gunnar. And there's already haters out there. There's a viral video going on about how this one guy thinks Gunnar's going to be the worst. But we have faith in Gunnar. If Kirby has faith in a quarterback, I trust Kirby. Kirby has not let us down when it comes to sticking to a quarterback. We were all proven wrong with Stetson Bennett. So if you ever have any doubts, just remember how great it was when Stetson Bennett was a quarterback, when you were all complaining about how bad it was. So trust in Kirby. Gunnar Stockton is going to be good. But at Media Days, it'll be interesting to watch how he handles the questions about leadership, expectations, and just taking over offense that has really been restocked and loaded with talent. I've talked about this a lot with just the pass catching position at Georgia. So wide receivers, tight ends, even the running backs. This might be the deepest talent pool of pass catchers that Georgia's ever had. absolutely reloaded in the wide receiver room, getting some big time portal transfers. Zachariah Branch out of USC and Noah Thomas out of Texas A&M, already showing great promise on the field. We saw that at G-Day. And then you throw in Taylon Taylor, one of the 5-star receivers that came in early for spring practice. Just looked like a beast at G-Day. So he's going to be a person to really keep your eyes on. And, that opens up space for Dylan Bell to do his thing at multiple positions. But it's all going to come down to Gunner. Can he be that point guard of the offense and just get people in the right position and get them the ball so they can make plays? Because he's got a ton of playmakers around him. All right, and then you got CJ Allen. So interesting stat about CJ Allen. Pro Football Focus graded him as the #1 run stopping linebacker in the country last year. That's crazy. That's amazing. And that's a great sign considering the recent history of Georgia producing Butkus Award winners. It's been kind of a staple under Kirby. He's got 3 so far. Could CJ Allen be the next? Yeah, there's a great chance. He's fast, he's physical, and he can get after it. And that's not hype. That's data. And go check out Pro Football Focus. They know what they're doing. At least I think they do. But expect him to get some questions about just anchoring the defense. There's a lot of new faces on the defense, and he's got to be the one. He's got to be the quarterback of the defense to make sure everybody gets in the right position, the right calls are made, and everybody does their job. He's going to be that. He's going to be one of those big leaders on the defense. And another big leader on the defense is going to be Dalen Everett. This guy, he's a veteran. He's gone from being, a player that Georgia fans love to hate on because he got picked on when Kamari Lassiter was across the field from him and no one wanted to throw at Kamari. So you got to throw at somebody. So it was going to be him. And I believe that helped him grow as a corner more than anything else, because the past 2 years after that, he has been absolutely shut down corner and came up huge in the big games, especially against Texas. I mean, both Texas games, he was huge, and he could have gone pro this past year, and he decided to come back, which really shocked a lot of people. So that tells you a lot about where he's at and how bought into the team's goals that he is. So we'll be watching how he talks about leadership and, the chemistry with the defense and all the changes, and, what it's like taking on top wideouts. And no longtime vets this year. So who are you most excited to hear from at SEC Media Days? Drop your top questions in the comments, socials, however you want to do it. And again, don't forget to check out our countdown series on the top 50 greatest dogs of the 2000s. You're going to want to weigh in on that one. We want to know who you got, who's in your top 50 or just your top 10. Who's your greatest of the 2000s? And we're just talking 2000s, not all time. Okay. Now, I didn't see this one coming. Apparently, Texas State is heading to the Pac-12. That's a real statement. That is a real thing that happened or that will happen. The move becomes official in 2026, and it's being led by school president Kelly Damphouse, who was a former prison guard. That's pretty wild. I mean, who'd have thunk it? Obviously, Texas State is not a traditional power, but it shows how aggressive the new Pac-12 is going to be in reshaping that conference. They're trying to invest in football. They want to grow their media profile, and they're hoping, getting in that Texas market will gain visibility and hopefully have some upside. It's bold. It's weird. It might work, but it makes you wonder who the Pac-12 goes after next. So let us know. Who do you think is going to be there? Do you like this move? Do you hate this move? I mean, what's next for the Pac-12? Drop us a comment. Let us know. All right. Well, it's just me this week, so not a long show. Street will be back next week, and we will be talking about SEC Media Days and give you our reactions to that. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this, give us a rating, drop a comment, share it with your favorite college football friends, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe. I mean, you've invested tens of minutes. All right. So hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to catch our 50 greatest Georgia players of the 2000s countdown and let us know what you think. Until then, I'm Burl, and this was the Nitro College Football Show. We'll see you next time.